repeatedly by the glance of Krishna. He can impregnate all of us into this material world. This world goes in cycles and lifetimes. Lord Brahma is the highest being in this material universe. One of his days is 1,000 times 4,340,000 years. So one of Lord Brahma's days is 4,320,000,000 years. That's one of his days. He lives for 100 such years. So you can imagine the fantastic long duration of life of Lord Brahma. Those of us who don't escape the cycle of birth and death in this material world, we also stick around in one life after another for the lifetime of Lord Brahma. At the end of his lifetime, we merge back into Krishna as he sleeps. Then, in the next day, the next Lord Brahma, next day of Lord Brahma, or the next lifetime of the Lord Brahma, the Lord impregnates us again into this material world to take off where we left off. This can go on indefinitely, as it does, until we escape the cycle of birth and death. This is why we stress the importance of taking the spiritual life of Krishna consciousness. We're not fearmongers, we're just trying to be kind, just trying to help. So this is done by his looking upon material nature. And so in this instance, Krishna's hearing the devotee's words of love in offering foodstuffs is wholly identical with his eating and actually tasting. This point should be emphasized because it is absolute position. His hearing is wholly identical with his eating and tasting. Only the devotee who accepts Krishna as he describes himself without interpretation can understand that the Supreme Absolute Truth can eat food and enjoy it. And why wouldn't he? After all we do, why would God not be able to do what we can do? Then he wouldn't be God. If he's not absolute, if he's not full in all opulences, then we would be better. That wouldn't make sense. So Krishna, God, eats food and enjoys it. Krishna has a spiritual body, we have a material body. So the sin that us humans suffer, for example, for not offering our foodstuffs, that doesn't apply to animals, that doesn't apply to little babies. For example, if we drive on the wrong side of the road, we can be punished for that. But if a cow comes along and walks on the wrong side of the road, it's not going to be punished. The laws of the scripture are here for humans. Animals and so forth just live according to their natures. So this is very important. And it's easy. Just offer Krishna a leaf, a flower, fruit or water and he will accept it. But I have to put a disclaimer on that because in the very next verse of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also says, O son of Kunti, all that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer and give away, as well as all austerities you may perform, should be done as an offering unto me. So this sounds contradictory. In one moment Krishna is just saying, oh, a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water is all I want to be fully satisfied. In the next verse, he's suddenly asking for everything. Seems like some sort of transcendental trickery going on. But there's a very nice understanding of this concept in the Srimad Bhagavatam or in the Krishna book. The story of Krishna and his saintly companions. Once upon a time they were travelling and they visited one of Krishna's great friendly kingdoms, the kingdom of Mithila. And this kingdom of Mithila was governed by King Bahulashva. Mithila was back in Krishna's, when he was on the planet 5,000 years ago, some of the kingdoms were very much in favour of him, some were against. The kingdom of Mithila was one that was greatly in favour of Krishna. Every sound was glorification of Krishna. Every ornament, every person was glorifying Krishna. Every house, every temple, Krishna's name could be heard everywhere. So Krishna went to visit this town. And upon his arrival, he came with his friends, great saints and sages, Narad Muni and Agastya Muni, Vyasadeva, Atri Muni. There were so many great saintly personalities with Krishna. And out from that town came King Bahulashva to invite Krishna and his friends to please come to my house. I would be blessed if you could come to my house. And simultaneously, out came another person to Krishna, and he asked Krishna at the same time, can you please come to my house and visit me? This other person, though, wasn't a king. He was a very poor man. He was a brahmana. He was saintly. He was Krishna conscious. But he was a very poor man. His name was Sritadev. So Sritadev, the poor man, and Bahulashva, the rich king, both asked Krishna and his great saintly companions, please come to my house at the same time. So Krishna agreed that he would come the next day. Krishna, to do that, he expanded himself into two. He expanded all his companions into two. God can do these things, it's no big deal. Don't even need to think about that too deeply. But the impossible can be done by Krishna. Anything can be done by Krishna. So he expanded himself into two, and they visited both households. They visited the king, who welcomed Krishna and his associates with plush furnishings, cushions, opulent foodstuffs, opulent ornaments, everything they needed for complete plush comfort. And Krishna was very, very pleased with this, and his associates were very, very pleased. They enjoyed very much because the king was a pure devotee. The king was a great saintly devotee. So Krishna reciprocates with his devotees, and his associates reciprocate also with Krishna's devotees. So they were very, very happy. The king thought Krishna only came to his house, but simultaneously Krishna and his associates also visited the poor Brahmana Sritadev. He didn't even have flooring, he had some grass matting. For seating, he had some wooden benches, some rickety chairs, stools. Foodstuffs, he didn't have much at all. He had some fruits, had some water, fresh cut fruits. Krishna was in ecstasy. He accepted what this poor man had to the same degree as he accepted what the rich king had. So the point is, that is an explanation of these two verses. The first one, if one offers me with love and devotion a leaf of flower, fruit or water, I will accept it. If that's all the person has, that's wonderful. These things are easy to acquire. Anyone can find, especially leaf is talking mostly about tulsi leaf, but nevertheless, some salad leaf, some flower can be picked, a fruit, pick it off a tree, some water, fresh water can be got, put into a cup, that can be offered. Krishna loves that. He loves that so much. But more than that, he loves the mood of devotion that it is offered with. That is the important part of all offerings to Krishna, is the loving devotion. That's why it's called, our process is called Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti means devotion. It's not just yoga, it's the yoga of devotion. And simultaneously, all that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer and give away, as well as all the austerities you may perform, should be done as an offering unto me. So the king did this. Krishna was equally pleased, but no more so, only the same amount. And the reason why it was the same amount of pleasure to Krishna is because both of those personalities had the same amount of love for Krishna. It's the love that is accepted. When preparing foodstuffs for Krishna, it's not that we just go to a fruit seller and offer the whole stall of fruits or vegetables to Krishna, offer the whole stall, but it's the preparation is made with love for Krishna. The standard of cleanliness in the kitchen is made with love for Krishna. The way that it is cut, the meditation while preparing the foodstuffs is done with love. The offering, when it is put onto an offering plate, looks attractive because it's done with love. We want to offer him something attractive. The taste is there, because we want Krishna to enjoy the taste of his transcendental senses. So the offering for Krishna is the love. That's what he accepts. That's what he wants. He doesn't need those other things. He accepts them because we offer them with love. So that's what this verse is all about. Srila Prabhupada was the perfect example of such a person. We're just trying to follow as best we can, in fits and starts for most of us, in his footsteps. But Srila Prabhupada was the perfect person.